Alex Prasad alongside Scott Wagner and Peter Saul making his first on-air appearance this school year. Very excited.
Ever on Varsity Blue.
Ever on Varsity Blue as well. Fellow producer of Overtime there, so if we talk anything about people skating around, Peter will probably be more knowledgeable than about the football stuff. But anyway, bad joke and also bad result this Saturday, guys. Mixed reviews from fans as to whether or not this was an encouraging game or a discouraging game. We'll start with you, Scott. You watched the game on television here in Ann Arbor. Peter and I went. That's the only reason Peter's on the show right now. Encouraging, discouraging, both, neither.
You win or you lose, and they lost, so the loss is discouraging. But I saw some encouraging things out of the team as a whole, so that was encouraging, but you got to win the game.
Encouraging things encouraging, loss discouraging. Anything to add to the conversation, Peter?
No, that was poetry.
That was poetry. All right, well, let's take a look at the highlights. Some of it was poetry, some of it was just bad. So, of course, Peter and I made the trip to Kinnick Stadium. No blimp, it's actually a plane flying around the field. Iowa City only slightly larger than
Herbie.
Half the size of Ann Arbor. That was Herbie. Yes, it was Herbie. And of course, the first cold game for the Wolverines. Would Tate Forsyth, will the San Diego hands hold up? We would have to find out. There's a little shot at Kinnick, 70,000 people or so. It was rocking at the beginning.
The night game atmosphere is definitely a unique experience. My first night game ever, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, mine as well. Of course, Michigan, rare night games. Only 4 night games in Kinnick Stadium history. Kinnick Stadium built in 1929. That was a long time ago. There's Donovan Warren. He was ready to play right from the get-go. Ricky Stanzi dropping back to pass, and oh look, it's the yellow pants. There's a stupid rumor about Michigan wearing white pants in this game that wouldn't have picked that off if he wasn't wearing the yellow pants. No doubt about it. And then, be careful, guys. Peter's standing right there. Wait, oh, geez, whoa. All right, so right off the bat, 7-0 Michigan. This pass was really catchy, but no, actually it was, It was incomplete. But it doesn't matter because Ricky Stanzi finds his tight end Mowacki uncovered right there. Michigan just gives Iowa back 7 points, 7-7 at this point in time. Then 3rd and 10 on his own 20. Tate looking for who knows who, but intercepted by a linebacker right there. Iowa gets 3 points off of it. And then Tate right there loses the ball out of the back of his hand. Another 3 points for Iowa. But Michigan coming back. Brandon Minor rage in full effect for the first time all season. Kept pounding it between the tackles. Ended up with about 100 yards on the ground. And then finishing off this drive right here. An unimpressive touchdown run, but what the heck. 7 points for Michigan, 14-10 now. Here, Tate Forsyth. Oh, this is where Tate loses the ball. I'm sorry, that was my mistake. And there's another look at it. Yeah, he's kind of cold hands, I guess, is the explanation. And there is Iowa's second field goal of the game. Iowa, after a Michigan 3-and-out, comes right back, run up the middle, 20, and that's, yes, this is a little tradition they do at Iowa, Peter. Would you like to explain why this man is, I don't know what he's doing.
Well, they're spelling Iowa to show they can spell a 4-letter word. He's making the W.
Yes, ready. W!
Oh.
Yes, that's very, very exciting. Anyway, back to the game. Michigan driving this time, a pitch out to Brandon Minor right there. And Michigan's ground game working, unlike the Michigan State game. Both lines played pretty well. And then Minor again finishing a drive, his second touchdown run. Michigan starting to come back in the third quarter. But then good old Greg Matthews fumbles. And it's up to the Michigan defense to stand tall. That was 3rd down, run stuff. 4th down. Oh, fake to Mowacki. Stevie Brown with the great coverage. Michigan perhaps coming back? No. 3-and-out for the Wolverine offense, and then Mowacki again uncovered. How he can make the same mistake twice, I do not understand. And Michigan running out of time. Here, Denard Robinson throwing up a wing in the prayer. Interception, second longest streak in FBS, too. Anybody? Florida Gators. That was a pretty easy one. Cut short, of course, the Denard Robinson brilliant touchdown drive that he led just before that interception. We're going to get to the quarterback controversy, if you will, in a second. Let's start with who's to blame for this loss. Of course, Michigan, 5 turnovers. That's not good, but where do you put the blame, Scott?
It's, like I said, it's hard to put the blame anywhere besides the 5 turnovers. But, The secondary was very shaky overall in this game, especially, they moved Troy Woolfolk to cornerback, which means they had to play an untested player in Mike Williams at the safety position, which caused a lot of trouble. You saw Iowa had some really good scenarios with that one touchdown pass they had early on in the game, really figuring out Michigan's blitz packages and figuring out when to throw those screens that were very effective. So the defense was questionable at times, but overall, it's hard to place it anywhere besides the 5 turnovers.
Right, well, take a look at the overall stats here. 319 yards, total yards for Michigan, 367 for Iowa. Only 83 rushing yards net for Iowa, which is pretty impressive. Stanzi, of course, looked like an all-star, and Tate looked like a freshman in this game. But Peter, in light of the parity between those two total yards numbers, of course, Michigan, there's 50 yards is 50 yards, but still, is there a solution to these turnovers? Because they certainly were, the cause of this loss. And maybe is the spread, causing these turnovers?
Well, it was obviously a major problem last year. Remember how awful the turnover ratio was last year. And you just have to wonder, does it go down to basic coaching technique, shifting the ball to the hand that's away from the tackle? You just have to wonder, really, is it the basics here that Rich Rodriguez is not covering in practice?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And year to year, turnover margin has proven to be a statistic that fluctuates wildly, right. Really no correlation between two different seasons.
But it also has a strong effect on your win-loss record.
Exactly. So Iowa coming into this game was, I think, the top team in the Big Ten in, turnover margin. Certainly improved that standing this past week. And in a 2-point game, what can you do? And I mean, some of these turnovers, totally inexcusable. The Tate Forcier fumble right there, perhaps the ball slips out of your hands. That happens sometimes. Of course, a weird thing, the team got 6 miscellaneous rushing yards on that play. Totally irrelevant. The Tate interception, mistake, a quarterback can make mistakes. But then the Greg Matthews fumble at 23-21 at that point in time really was just a heartbreaker. Michigan still made the comeback, but it just was not enough. So let's move now to the Tate Forcier, Denard Robinson, concussion, Rich Rodriguez, disaster, disaster that, well, here are the facts. Denard Robinson led that long touchdown drive that chewed up a good amount of time on the clock with about from 6 to 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Michigan defense stands tall. Denard Robinson comes back again with only 90 seconds left. People are saying, what's going on? We learn in retrospect that Tate suffered a concussion on the last play that he played on like a Michigan 3-and-out or at least a Michigan punt. Rich Rodriguez said after the game, and then again today on Monday, he chose Denard not because he thought Tate had a concussion, but because he thought Denard was the best option with 90 seconds left starting in your own 25. Was Denard the best option when you're backed up, your own end zone, and you have a quarterback sitting on the bench standing on the sideline anyhow, that has led 2 or 3 fourth quarter comebacks already this year?
Denard Robinson was not the right call with a minute and a half to go in the game. He's a great player, and he's been underutilized so far this year in a lot of instances. I don't understand why he didn't touch the ball until 6 minutes to go in the game, but at the flip of the coin, I don't understand why Tate Forcier, given what Rich Rodriguez knew, was not put out there with 90 seconds to go in the game. He's a much better thrower than Denard Robinson. He's proven he knows how to lead a drive down the field.